And welcome to the Uninvited podcast.
Thank you.
What's your business name?
Five Ever Imagery.
How did you come up with that?
So when we got married, 7 years ago now, I had my old last name in my business name. And so I knew I wanted to change it. And we always had this like little banter back and forth where it was like, I love you too, I love you forever. And then it was always, I love you Five Ever because it's longer. And so I was throwing that around and I had a friend that was like, I really love that. And she ended up passing away like the year we got married. And so I was like, well, now it has two meanings. Because she loved it and it had something to do with my husband and I's love story. So I was like, well, that's what I'm sticking with. So I just roll with it. And we actually, like, the ring I'm wearing actually has Five Ever on it. And so I was like, it's kind of got a double meaning now. So, and it works because with weddings, like, I want everybody's love story to last Five Ever. It works.
So cute. I never like understood and I was like, oh, that's unique. We hadn't talked about it before.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it works with weddings, so and it works with like the uniqueness of our story too. So I rolled with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. How did you get into photographing weddings?
Weddings, particularly,
or just
in general. So I was the editor of my high school yearbook when I was in school, obviously, and I was one of those weird kids that didn't like school pictures. So when I was a senior, I was like, nobody's gonna have the school pictures. Tux and drapes to me were absolutely ugly. And I hated like the standard pictures. We got them done in the summer and everybody was like sunburnt and everything else. So I literally went around and pulled kids out of class and took a picture of them somewhere on our school grounds just so they had some kind of senior picture that wasn't the standard picture. And if they didn't want that, then I was like, okay, meet me in the city park after school or something, so that they had some kind of nice senior picture. And I did it all for free. I used the yearbook camera. And then after I graduated, we went to the mall, my mom, my best friend and my best friend and I were shopping, I think at Wet Seal when that was still a thing. And my mom disappeared and I was like, that's weird. Well, she went over to Idaho Camera and bought me a camera and walked into Wet Seal and handed it to me. And I still have a picture of my face of her handing it to me. And I'm just like, seriously? And she's like, well, you got to start somewhere. And I still cry thinking of that moment. And I haven't put the camera down since. I've been doing it half my life. And then getting into weddings, I had a coworker at my very first job that was like, hey, we're getting married. Do you think you would want to do it? Photographed their wedding for $300. It was a 13-hour day. Yeah, it was 103 in June. Her daughter was passing out. I was like, I really loved it, but definitely not for that amount of money. I actually stopped doing weddings for a while because I was like, I don't ever want that experience again. But then I slowly got back into it and did another coworker's wedding, and I actually did it for free, but I loved that wedding. So that's why I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So I slowly started getting back into it, and I just love watching people's love stories unfold. So I was like, I'm going to do this more. And then now I get to watch their love story unfold even further by doing their families and everything else. People just keep coming back, and clearly I'm doing something right.
Yeah, right. If I had that as my first wedding, I don't think I'd ever do another wedding.
It was crazy. They're still married, to this day. They have 4 children and their grandparents now, and it's crazy. But that was the craziest wedding, and everybody was in the formal attire, and I was just I was dying, and I was so nervous to do the wedding, and I was it was 103, and I was like, I can't, this is so, my camera's overheating, and I'm just this is insane, and everybody's like, oh, you're, their pictures were amazing, and I'm just I can't even remember it, other than how hot it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, that's probably what, your least favorite wedding was. What was your favorite wedding?
That actually was not my least favorite wedding. I've had others, but that was the first. My favorite wedding, oh man, I've had so many good ones. But recently, I actually had the opportunity to travel back. So I'm from Michigan originally, that's where I was born. And this last September, my kindergarten best friend got married, and my mom has not been back to Michigan since we moved 20 something years ago, other than when her mom passed away back in 2001. So I actually got to road trip back to Michigan with my mom, and I got to photograph my kindergarten best friend's wedding. And it was like the time of my life. I got to fly my husband out there so he could second photograph for me, because he second photographs for me like at every wedding. But I got to fly him out there. We got to spend like 6 hours at their wedding, and like it was right before my birthday, so they like made the DJ play happy birthday for me. And like I was literally like so embarrassed because I hate being the center of attention. Even at my own wedding I hated it, but it was just such a full circle moment. Like we looked exactly the same as we did when we were little kids. I walked in the door like at their like rehearsal, and her mom goes, "Your hair color changed, that's about it." And I was like, the fact that you remember me is weird. But it was such a fun wedding, so full of love. And it was her second wedding, but like you wouldn't have even thought that, because like they were so in love, and like he loved her kids just as like they were hers. She loved his kids just like they were hers. Like it was so full of love, and like I even felt the love, and I hadn't even seen her in 20 plus years, and it was just so great. So recently that was been my favorite wedding.
Well, then what's your least favorite wedding?
Oh goodness, there's been a lot. So to avoid any drama, I would just say the ones that like are boring, like where there's not a lot of people like up on the dance floor. So like I'm just sitting there really like photographing the same 5 people. That's really my least favorite. Like because then when I'm going back through and editing, I'm like, I don't even want to edit these because there's just like the same 5 people, and it's like, do they even really want these photos? Or like when the bride and groom are just sitting there looking bored, it's like, do I even want to edit these? Like they look so bored. And I hate those kind of weddings, because it's like, did you even have a good time at your wedding if you look bored? Or like the ones without a DJ are the worst. Like when they're just push and play on a playlist. There's some that are fun where they're push and play on a playlist. I had one that was a flower farm wedding. I was the only vendor at that wedding.
Really?
Everything else was DIY. Like the food was DIY, music was DIY. That was the most pumping wedding.
Really?
Like it was so much fun. I loved it. Like they were really young, like not even 21. So like really no one was drinking except for the parents, but everyone was on the dance floor. Like it was pumped up. I actually used a clip that I took as like my end of year recap, because like their dance floor was so pumped up. They were still in college. So like all their friends were still in college. It was so much fun. That was the only wedding where the dance floor was packed without a DJ. Everyone else, like, it's just like they're sitting on the floor, or like they're sitting at the tables. You've got everybody like this, and it's like, nobody wants to see pictures of that. No. Nobody wants to remember that. And so it's like, can only do so much to make your day look super lively. So those are like my least favorite. Other than that, like I like aspects of every wedding, but just the ones where everybody looks bored during the reception or like looks mad, because their emotion doesn't come across. I mean, I have RBF bad, so I get it. Everybody always is like, I didn't want to approach you because couldn't tell if you were mad. And I'm like,
it's just my face.
It's just my face. I'm like, sorry, I probably look really mad all the time, but that's just my face.
So do you have a specific least favorite part or a specific favorite part of a wedding day?
It changes depending on the wedding. I hate the shoe game. I know that sounds really bad. And it's not that I hate the shoe game in the moment. Like, I think it's so fun. It's just that it doesn't come across well photographing.
You can only get like so many pictures.
Like when you are editing and like when you see a photo back, it looks like they're just holding a shoe. And then if I get the crowd, like they're laughing. But like it's better for video, honestly, because you get to hear the question, you get to hear everybody's responses and things like that. For photo, it's just...
Well, it's not like you're going to frame that.
But like for photo, it's just like, great, they're laughing, but like why? Like what was so funny? So it's just like, it's a great candid moment, but it's just like, what was so funny? So like, I love the shoe game for like a video aspect, but not for photo. So like, I'll take a couple of photos of it. Like I'll get one of like the bride, one of the groom, like a couple of the crowd, and like a couple wide shots, but then that's it. Because after that, it's just like, what's the point? Like nobody wants to look through 30 photos of the same thing unless something exciting happens. Like there's one DJ that brings out like little baby shoes. Instead of having them take their shoes off, he'll give them like little baby shoes to hold up. So like that's kind of cute, but it's like,
again, you can only take so many photos.
Like I can still only get like 5 photos. And after that it's boring. At least for photo aspect. Listening to it, like being in the moment is fun, but editing of the photos, it's like,
Kind of same with like reception photos. Like
Yeah.
you can only get so many dancing pictures.
yeah, unless they're doing something fun or like there's a ton of people. Because I like the anniversary dance because I can go around and get a picture of every couple that's dancing
Yeah.
and like get a few wide shots so they can see like their dance floor filled, and like the like line dances, like the cha-cha slide and like things like that. When there's a bunch of people on the floor, because then I can get photos of a bunch of different people dancing,
Yeah.
get close-ups of them, like, you know, different things like that. And then you get the groomsmen that like tie the tie around their head and like are doing something funny. Those are the fun shots to take. But when the dance floor is dead, it's just like,
A little painful.
here's another photo of the flower girl dancing, because there's not much more I can do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take pictures of your guests eating.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the least, like, you're never going to get a photo of someone eating.
That's flattering.
Nobody wants that. Not a single person.
Especially the person eating.
Yeah. I don't want that, and neither do you.
What's the funniest or most unexpected thing that's ever happened?
So this is actually something we still talked about today. A few years ago, I photographed a wedding at a park, and we went to do the cake cutting and realized a squirrel had eaten the cake. So there's like claw marks and like bite marks out of their cake. And I was like, we'll just spin that so that it's not in the photo.
Yeah.
And luckily I'd already taken photos of the cake before like it got
good.
into it. But like when they were actually doing the cake cutting, like it was very noticeable because it was like a navy blue cake with like gold specks, and like the inside of the cake was white. So it was very noticeable that something had gotten a hold of this cake. And I actually just photographed the bride's little sister's wedding last year, and we were still talking about it. So like we got to the cake cutting for the little sister, and I'm like, no squirrels got this cake. And like everybody laughed because everybody remembered like what we were talking about. So it was perfect. And like the groom from the first wedding was like, I mean, it probably tasted better after the squirrel got it. And I was like, I mean, I don't know how great that turned out. And I just did an engagement session at that same park, and I like told them the story, and so we had a good laugh about it. So it's just a gift that keeps on giving.
That is hilarious. Do you have any go-to traditions or rituals that you do before each session or wedding?
Not really. Just try not to have an anxiety attack. I try not to like overthink them. But I also like have all my couples like kind of send like their Pinterest board. I don't like to 100% recreate like a photo for a couple. Like there's a few, like if they're like, oh, I really love this shot, then I'll try and like completely recreate it for them. But I can't like recreate like the like drove of trees because we don't have that here.
Yeah.
So I'll try and like recreate like their dream, but then so I'll like flip through their Pinterest board, make sure I kind of committed to memory like what they like, and then still try and make it my own. And then also just try not to have a panic attack or an anxiety attack because I overthink everything, especially going into a wedding day. I'm like, am I going to call the groom by the wrong name? Like I not recently, but one of my second shooters a while back, I pointed out the groom to her, but then she ended up photographing the best man as the groom. And she's like, I did get a few wide shots. And she's like, but I photographed the wrong person. And I was like, it's okay. I also took photos of the groom, like while the bride was coming down the aisle. So like we got what we needed, but she was like, feel like an idiot. And I was like, it's okay. Happens to all of us.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure that my husband's done it too. So like it happens to the best of us. But like, and then there's been a time that like I completely forgot to take photos of like the groom while the bride's coming down the aisle. So like I get it. Like, and like that always sticks in my mind. Like, don't call the groom by the wrong name. Like, don't forget to take photos while they're walking down the aisle. Like, don't let the camera mess up. So just kind of those little things in the back of my head. I just am like, don't do any of that.
Yeah.
So that's the
It's like
biggest
a
thing.
checklist.
Yep.
How do you approach weddings differently than other vendors?
I don't know if it's really differently, but I'm like super laid back when it comes to like communication and things like that. So I don't care if they call, text, email, but like if a bride books me like a year in advance or something like that, I don't like bloat their inbox every like month or anything like that. I'll reach out to them like 6 months before the wedding and be like, hey, just wanted to do a quick check-in. Just wanted to say I'm still here. Is there anything else you're still looking for? Any vendors I can, provide you like a recommendation for? Anything that I can like give you help with, anything like that. Just kind of letting them know that I'm still here for them. I'm still available. Because I don't want them to think that I'm just peacing out and ghosting them, because that's a huge thing right now. But also just letting them know like I'm still here if they need help with anything, but also not trying to like bog them down and like over communicate. Because that can also be overwhelming, especially when you're getting married, getting an email like every like month or so being like, especially when I'm not a planner. Like if I'm a planner, that's different. But with me, it's just like, I'm here if you need me, but I'm not going to be like, hey, what do you need? What do you want? Like, what can I do for you? Because that's not my place. Like, I just want you to know I'm still here. I'm not piecing out on you, but I'm also not going to be in your face.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's different than other people, but that's just something that I do.
It almost seems like the way that things are going, like how you said how things are going now, like it could be perceived as differently. Because I've noticed in the Facebook groups, there are a lot of people who just peace out.
Yep.
And it's...
Or they'll like show up and like photograph and then peace out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, I'm still here.
Yeah. So it's definitely created a very like overly cautious bride, I would feel.
Yeah. So, and like, I always make sure they have my phone number. So I'm like, if you need me, like, you can text me. I might not respond like right away, especially depending on what time you text me. Because I do put my phone on like do not disturb at like 8:40 at night or 9:40 at night. But I will text you back like as soon as possible. But I still like try to maintain business hours.
I know, I emailed you this morning, you emailed right back. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah. I'm usually awake at like 8 o'clock in the morning, but like I try to maintain like business hours, but also like if it's like an emergency or I feel like it's something that's like, hey, they just need like a quick like yes or no like answer or something, like I'm gonna respond.
Yeah.
Even if it is like 11 o'clock at night. If I'm still awake, like I'm gonna respond.
Well, like it's easy because people are very like instant gratification, but also like it's easier on you because then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and even if it's just a simple like, hey, I got your email. Like give me a couple days to like get back to you on like the logistics of everything, but like I'm here. Like I read your email, I'm gonna get back to you.
I need to get better about that side of things because like I won't open it because I don't want to forget about it, but like I also still did read it and I want you to know that.
Yeah.
But what would you say the most rewarding part of your job is when it comes to working with couples on their big day?
Just seeing the like smiles on their faces. My favorite like part is just kind of being like the fly on the wall and just getting to capture like the smiles when they're like dancing on the dance floor or like when they're standing at the altar, because I get to just be that fly on the wall and just get to capture those moments. And like nobody expects me to be perfect and whatnot because I'm not in the photos. So I can be in those weird positions and like, kind of just capture the moment without them seeing me, as long as I don't need to have flash because then it kind of ruins the moment. But just kind of getting to see their love story unfold, see the smiles when, they see their friend that they haven't seen in a while, getting that moment of them hugging their grandma or something like that. Just getting to see them like interact and, be with their friends and family on their big day, or even just getting to see them interact in front of the camera. I take I like to call it a posed candid approach. So I'll like put them into a pose and I'll be like, all right, now like make her laugh or like swing her around or do something to like be more fluid in front of the camera instead of just stiff and posed. So that way it just feels more natural. And I hear it all the time from my couples that like they just feel more natural in front of the camera, which is so nice. So just hearing that and just seeing like their natural selves come out is so nice. And I just love seeing like being that fly so that I can capture it without them feeling like I have to stand here and smile and not move. Yeah. Which is so nice.
Do you have any photography trends that you're loving right now?
I looked at this yesterday and I was like, do I really? Yes and no. Like right now I'm just really loving like the fluid motion in photos where it's not just the standard like posed photo. So a lot more photographers are doing like the movement and the the fluid motion in photos instead of just the standard stand and stare at the photo. Yeah, like the perfect photo. Like not everybody is doing like the perfect photo, and I'm loving that more. I think it's because I've been doing it that I've been loving seeing it, and I think I've been seeing it more, which is so nice. So I've just been loving seeing like more photographers embracing that, because I think the post photograph needs to stay in the studio, because that's what you're going to a studio for, is that post photograph. Yes, you can still have like those fun, like messy photos in the like studio, but I think those prim proper photos need to stay in the studio. Like have those more fluid, like especially like families and stuff like that too, like, or like if you're doing engagements and you have little kids, like you're not going to have the perfect smiling photo with little kids in it outside. They just want to run wild and free. Let them do it. So I'm more about like just enjoy the moment and having that fun movement.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any trends that you don't love right now?
Blurry photos. I know everybody says that, but like I remember when I started photography, like if you missed focus on a photo, it was a bad photo, you threw it away. And now everybody's like purposely doing it, and I'm like, why?
I trained so hard and so long to not do it.
Exactly.
And now it's a thing.
I'm like, I worked so hard to perfect getting everything in focus every time. And now you're telling me that like, oh, I missed focus. Everybody's going to love that photo. I can just throw it in. Okay. It's art now. So
I will say the only time that I feel like it is acceptable is if the background is something like something like that. So like the couple's out of focus just for one photo though, and the background is.
I will say that the only time that I have ever sent like blurry photos or like something is if it's like the reception dance floor. Like if like it's a motion blur and it's supposed to be like that, but like I don't intentionally do it. I'm not sitting there purposefully making my photos
if it's
blurry.
A couple and it's blurry.
Or even that, like if I'm like trying to take a photo of the couple and like I go to take the shot and then they move or something, like if I still think the photo looks cool, like I'll send it to them. But it's not like my main focus and I'm not trying. Not every photo in the reception is now blurry. Like I'm just like, oh, that kind of looks cool. But like there's been so many like controversies lately, like coming up on TikTok, and like the blurry photos have been like, what was that one recently where like the girl showed like all of like the blurry and out of focus photos, but like the rest of the gallery was all beautiful and like in focus and like absolutely beautiful photos, but she only showed like the like 10 or so like blurry or like artistic photos that she didn't like, and I was just like, that would never be me. You would get like one, maybe two, and it would only be reception photos. And so I was like, that's the trend I don't like, because I'm just like, I worked so hard.
Well, and I feel like if it's intentionally blurry, like a moment is an action moment, like you were saying, like the dance floor, then it makes sense. But if it's not, then it's just a bad
like
photo.
And I do have couples sometimes that like that bridesmaid and groomsman shot where like the couple's standing and then they're blurred, like because they're walking, like that one, like I have my couples ask all the time for that, and I don't mind doing that one because my couple is like the main focus and then we just have the blur, and like that's fine. But it's like the intentional blurry, like the rings or whatever, and I'm just like, why? What is the reason? Like, why are we doing this? And I'm just like, no.
No. Do you have any advice for couples who want to make the most of photography without breaking the budget?
Ask for payment plans. Like, you know, I offer both payment plans and like hourly. Like, I kind of let you do like build your own. So my packages might not be for everyone. So you can build your own package. If you don't want a second photographer, if you don't want, you know, I always encourage it, because second photographers are going to give you more photos that maybe, you know,
different angles.
Especially
backups if something were to happen, God forbid.
Especially for the ceremony. I can't be in all those places. So like with my husband, I always give him like the long lens, and I'm like, go to the back, get the long shots. You know, he's got the 70-200, so he can zoom in and get close-up shots and long shots. I've got I always shoot with prime lenses for ceremonies, so I've got the 105 and the 50. So I usually come up like where the parents are sitting and like photograph in, so I can get up close and long shots, you know, but he can get like super close up from like halfway down the aisle or something. So I love having a second photographer for this ceremony. But if that's not your jam, if you're like, we're eloping in the mountains, we just need one of you, cool, build your own package.
Yeah.
Like I offer hourly pricing for that reason. If you know, want 2 hours on your wedding day just to capture the ceremony and your family portraits, but then you want your couple's pictures taken at the top of Bogus Basin like 2 days later, I offer that too. Like there's a package in there for you to create yourself.
Yeah.
So ask for that. Ask for payment arrangements.
Because, I mean, you're paying for a lot. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
vendors get that.
And I'm probably one of the only ones that I'll work with you. Like when it comes to your, I mean, I'm not going to say the only ones, but like I'll work with you. Like as long as you meet like the 3 payment like dates that I give you, I don't care how you make your payments. I had one girl one time that literally paid me $25 every 2 weeks when she got paid until she was paid up. I don't care. Like, however it works for you works for me. Like, I know that photography is a luxury, but it's also the only thing you get to walk away from a wedding with. Like, you can't take your cake home. You can't take your catering home. You can't take your DJ home with you as much as everybody would love to. I mean, some of those DJs are great.
Yeah.
I would love to have them just walk around DJing my life, but you can't take them home with you.
Yeah.
Your flowers, unfortunately, unless they're silk, are gonna die unless you preserve them in, you know, resin or whatever, or a shadow box after you dry them. They're not gonna stick around forever. So the only thing you get is your photos.
Yeah.
So spend the money on it.
Yeah.
Like ask for those payment plans, ask for, you know, a deal here and there. Whatever it may be. The worst that somebody can say is no, but I'll work with you. I'll give you, you know, $25 every 2 weeks. I don't care. As long as the amount is paid. And like, I'm also one of those that'll allow you to pay on the wedding day. I know that's risky for me, but I don't care. You can pay the day of the wedding. Like, I'll still show up. Did you pay your deposit? I'll be there. Like, I know it's expensive for you. I'll be there. Like, I'm also the only person that walks away with something from your wedding. So I have something that you want. So my work doesn't end the day of your wedding.
Yeah.
My work starts the day of your wedding. So I have something that I can hold on to until I'm paid in full. So I don't mind working with you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and like we said, like there's just so many vendors, and like we understand that.
Yep.
Like you got a lot going on.
Weddings are expensive. I've been married. I know.
What's a small difference that makes you what's a small detail that makes a huge difference on the wedding day?
Hydration. Like, make sure that you're drinking water.
Yeah.
Not beer, not wine, like water. Not just your vendors, but like you. Not just you, your wedding party. I had a wedding party, it was July, and
geez.
the limo broke down that the groomsmen were in on the way to the ceremony space, and we were supposed to do first look and the wedding party like before the ceremony, and one of the groomsmen literally just drank beer the whole time while the limo was broke down, waiting to get picked up, and he was so drunk that he could barely stand for like pictures, and I was like, someone force feed him water. He's not
IV at that
I was
point.
like, it is July 20th. It is so hot outside. There's no way that he's going to last through this wedding.
No.
Like, there's no, like, there was shade, but like there was no indoor. It was an all outdoor wedding. There was like, it was at the barn at Bissell Creek Meadows.
Oh.
So they don't have an indoor like area. I haven't seen it in a few years because this was a few years ago. But there's no like indoor air conditioning, like nothing. So it's like, bro, you're gonna die of heat stroke. Like water. And then like he was like, oh, I just need another beer. I'm like, no, you need water. And you are not allowed to drink anything else but water until the ceremony is over. Cool. So hydration.
Yeah.
Leading up to the wedding, the day of the wedding, you can still have your mimosa, you can still have your beer, but for every beer you drink, you also need to drink water.
Especially
Hydration.
in the summer.
Yes, especially June to August, water.
Because then, like, no one wants to be hot and sweating from being drunk and all the things. Yeah.
Water.
How do you balance staying organized and flexible on the wedding day?
I'm there for the couple. Like, so I give a timeline. A lot of my couples don't like hire a wedding planner. So like I'm the one that gives them a timeline usually. And if they have a DJ, usually I'm like, reception goes to the DJ. Like I'll plan, like before ceremony, after ceremony, but as soon as grand entrance happens, everything else goes to the DJ because they're in charge of what happens during your reception if you don't have a wedding planner. Highly recommend getting a wedding planner just because then they can kind of plan everything else out and keep us on track. But your wedding day is not going to happen without you.
Yeah.
You're the main event. So I always tell my couples, like, you're the main event. If you're running 10, 15 minutes behind, okay, like nothing's happening without you. Like I can't take pictures without you. Like, yeah, I can do decor. I can do like your guests, whatever, but like I can't do your first look without you. I can't do your family photos without you. So take a deep breath. Yeah. Like I'm not going to rush you out the door and be like, nope, we got to go. If I have to stay 10, 15 minutes late, I have to stay 10, 15 minutes late. I'm going to make sure everything that you said is important to you is captured. That's just how it is. Yes, I try to keep us on our timeline as much as possible, but I'm also not going to stress you out and be like, you have to get this done right now, because that's not flexible. Mm-hmm. That just puts more stress on you. And then you're going to feel like you need to go throw up because you're like, we're not done. Nope. We're going to keep everything in order, but we're also going to make sure that, it's on your time. If you feel like you're going to get sick, go get sick. We'll keep going afterwards. Yeah. Like, it's fine. Just remaining, flexible and just keeping the couple, as stress-free as possible.
I mean, because it's their day, they're already stressed and don't need to add to it.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you've got, others that are like, no, we need to go right now. No, we don't.
Yeah.
I usually try to play buffer. Like, we don't need to go right now.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go when they're ready.
Yeah.
If it starts 10 minutes late, it starts 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. What's something that often gets overlooked but makes a huge difference on the wedding day?
Doing what you want and not listening to others. So it doesn't matter what mom wants, doesn't matter what your best friend wants, doing what you want. So even though you're trying to, appease everyone else, what do you want? If you want a chill day and you just want to go with the flow, then have a chill day and go with the flow. If you want your wedding pictures to go right up to your ceremony, let your wedding pictures go right up to your ceremony. If you don't care that your guests are going to see you, like when your ceremony starts or before your ceremony starts, then fine. I still always try to do like 5-10 minutes before so that I can be ready for your ceremony. But like, if you don't care, then don't let other people tell you, oh no, you can't do that, it's tradition, because it just adds more stress. So like, that's a really small thing, but it's going to make a huge difference when it comes to like your actual day. Yeah. It's just not letting other people tell you what you have to do. I'm dealing with that right now. So that's why I thought about it.
For one of your couples? Oh, that's hard. How do you stay updated with trends in the industry while still keeping things fresh for each couple?
I touched on it earlier. So I have couples kind of like send me like their Pinterest inspiration. And I get a lot of couples that send me like TikToks and like Facebook and Instagram reels and things like that. And so I'll like take what they send me, but then I'll kind of like make it their own. So if they're like, hey, I really love like this shot or something. Yeah, that's great. But we're going to put your own spin on it. And I try not to do the same photo for more than one couple. And if they really love the photo, then I try and like put a spin on it. But then I also try to do at least one new pose for every couple. So I'm not doing all the same poses for every couple. So if I did 25 weddings in a year, not all 25 of them are having all the same like poses, because that makes my portfolio look very stale. But also when I like line them all up next to each other, they're not like, so she just recycled all the poses for all of us. Cool. So they all get, the same trendy poses that everybody else is doing, a spin on it for themselves, because that might not be them. Or, they might be looking at the models from like a stylized shoot or something, and they are not those models. Yeah. They've never been in front of the camera before. So you have to kind of adjust it for, somebody that doesn't know how to model in front of a camera.
Yeah.
Or this bride might have, the super long cathedral veil, and then my bride doesn't. So I kind of have to adjust it for what she's wearing or something like that. So just kind of tweaking it to match my couple, and then also adding in something new and fresh just for them, and then not doing that exact same pose. Or if I do that exact same pose, adding in a brand new one for my next couple that hasn't been done for the couple before.
Yeah, I think that's important. Last question. If you could give every couple one piece of advice, what would it be?
Just kind of going back to, it's your day. Like, and also hire the wedding planner. Like, don't let mom plan your wedding. Don't let grandma plan your wedding. Don't let your best friend plan your wedding. Hire the wedding planner, hire the DJ, hire the florist, like hire out. Yes, it saves you the money to like have your best friend, your grandma, your aunt, you know, do everything. And sometimes it does end up being a really pretty wedding, like that one I was talking about where, you know, I was the only vendor. Like, that was a very beautiful wedding and it worked for them. But there's other weddings where they didn't hire anyone but me, and it didn't end up being a very beautiful wedding, and it ended up, you know, where everybody looked bored sitting at the tables or something. So hire it out. Don't put the stress on you. Don't put the stress on mom, or don't let mom, grandma, aunt, uncle take over the whole day. Hire out. Like, it might seem like a lot of extra money, but ask around. Say, hey, this is what budget we're working with. Give your budget. That's a big thing, especially like in the Facebook groups. An arm and a leg is not a budget. Tell them your budget. Say, hey, I want, you know, this many hours. This is what I have available. Is that doable? There's going to be somebody for everybody. You know, even if you can't afford somebody's entire package, maybe they have something for you. If you just want a DJ for the reception, I'm sure there's somebody out there for you. So ask the question. There's got to be somebody out there for you, you know, and maybe you need to cut corners somewhere else. Like, if you can't afford live flowers, maybe silk flowers are the way to go, or something like that. Just, you never know until you ask. But stop letting your parents or your grandparents or somebody else run your day. It's your day, and they're going to plan it the way they want to plan it, not the way you want to plan it.
Yeah.
But
because they had their chance.
Exactly. They had their chance. They might have had 2 or 3 chances. We don't know. I know.
We're not here to judge.
I know my mom had 2 chances.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's out there. You know, but there's somebody for everyone, and it doesn't hurt to ask. But an arm and a leg is not a price point.
Say it louder for the kids in the back.
Post your budget. There's going to be somebody for everyone, and it doesn't hurt to ask. Book the vendors. It's going to change your day completely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course.